up everyone? So today's movie I'm discussing on the channel is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which is the fourth installment in the modern day Apes franchise. This one's directed by Wes Ball, who is best known for doing those Maze Runner movies. The first three Apes movies were kind of the Caesar era trilogy, and Kingdom looks set to be the first of a new trilogy set many generations after Caesar's time. Where this movie starts, Caesar has been gone for quite a while now, but Caesar has become like this religious, messiah-like figure to the apes who have become the dominant species on planet Earth. The apes have advanced, they've evolved, but with humans, they've kind of devolved. They've lost their ability to speak to one another. Thanks, natural selection. But it's not all harmony in ape world. You've got the peaceful apes who are building communities, villages for themselves, living in harmony with the eagles that they're training. And then you've got the bad apes, the ones who kidnap the peaceful apes and are forced to serve Proximus Caesar's agenda of opening this old vault full of human technology inside that he wants to get into. Our new protagonist is a young ape called Noah, played in this film by Owen Teague, who goes on a journey to rescue the apes from his clan who have been captured by Proximus Caesar, played by Kevin Durand. And along the way, he recruits the help of a feral human being called May, played by Freya Allen, along with a wise orangutan called Raka, played by Peter McComb. And that's all the plot you need to know. I really enjoyed the previous three Apes movies. I actually think it's one of the most solid and consistent trilogy blockbusters that we have. Each one was really good. And part of me was concerned going forward, especially without Andy Serkis, that a fourth film in this franchise might have been unnecessary, or it might just not have been as good. But to my surprise, Wes Ball has done a fantastic job of taking the Apes franchise in a compelling new direction. Kingdom actually has far more complex ideas about humanity in the mix than your average blockbuster. Where War of the Planet of the Apes felt kind of like a Western, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes actually felt more like a biblical epic to me. Come for the monkeys, stay for the substance. Like I mentioned, Caesar has become sort of this religious figure to the apes, but the film cleverly explores how religious teachings can be twisted and misconstrued for personal gain. And it's what makes Proximus Caesar a fascinating antagonist for this film. He's got a thirst for knowledge and wants to advance the ape species as far as he can, and that's what makes him interesting, because his motives are good. He wants progress, just like Caesar, but the difference between them is that Caesar preached compassion, decency, mercy, whereas Proximus doesn't stand for any of that. He's a tyrant on a quest for knowledge, and because he's smart, he twists Caesar's teachings to suit his own needs. He's manipulating his, well, they're not even followers, they're mostly slaves because they've been captured and have been forced into submission. But essentially what he is a charismatic dictator, a cult leader, if you will. But yeah, the film does have a lot of biblical connotations, especially with a protagonist called Noah who wants to rescue and free his people. And you can also view Proximus Caesar's vault as a bit like Pandora's box, because what's inside it isn't necessarily the best thing for the apes. So yeah, what else did I like about this movie? Well, for starters, the performances in this are great. Even though 95% of the characters are motion cap performances, the emotion really does come through. All the actors playing apes do incredible work conveying so much through their eyes and their physicality. Andy Serkis just like planted seeds and now he's watching them grow. You really do feel the emotionality in this film, okay? There's a very tender connection between Noah and his friends as well as his parents. And I think that's why these movies work as well as they do. It's because even though we're watching apes, there's so much humanity between them. You really do care for them. There were a few times watching this where I found myself welling up. Even though I'm watching CGI apes, the humanity and the emotion just shines through. A shout out to Owen Teague, who plays Noah. He does a beautiful job of showing the gradual evolution of Noah throughout the film. It's really solid character development, because at the start he's sort of an insecure young ape trying to impress his dad, but he gradually comes into his own throughout the movie. He questions the teachings of Caesar and eventually becomes the leader that the apes need. But yeah, that growth, that journey that he takes from point A to point B feels very earned. I also really loved Peter McComb as the orangutan Raka. He's just that lovable mentor figure who's very wise but also quite funny. Like, he just brought a lot of humor and heart to the film. Also, you know how it's funny when a toddler swears? Oh. Well, as it turns out, it's funny when apes do it too. Shit. Big fan of John Pacino's score in this too. The music is very much in style of the music Michael Giacchino made for the previous Apes movies, but I was also getting some John Williams influences peppered throughout the score. Like this scene where they're crossing a bridge and you can feel that sense of dread and danger, but also the scene where we meet Proxima Caesar for the first time was kind of giving me vibes of Temple of Doom, you know, when the heart gets ripped out. With the apes like banging on these satanic drums. It goes without saying that the visual effects in this film are spectacular, and I am anticipating for Kingdom to continue the Apes tradition of being nominated for Best Visual Effects at the Oscars, and I do think that's probably where the Oscar nominations will end for this film. I still think it's a bit of a jip that Andy Serkis never got a nomination for playing Caesar. Do you guys think the Academy will take mocap performances seriously someday? Whatever you have to say, let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, the visuals in this are just all around fantastic. Whether it's a landscape backdrop or a close-up of an ape's face, you can really see the detail that's been put into it. As for my negatives, I did find the film a bit too long, but then again, what film isn't too long these days? It's 2.5 hours, this film, and I found there was a little bit of a pacing issue with this film in the middle section. That's where it really gets bogged down. But the last third of this film more than makes up for the slightly sluggish middle part because it is action-packed, utterly gripping. And like the previous Apes movies, I did think there was a lot of conveniences in the plot. Like during the final act where the team are executing their plan, I did think to myself, they're very lucky that they haven't bumped into a single ape whilst executing this plot. Like the film takes the time to establish that this compound has like 200 plus apes in it, and yet they just breeze on by while they're like hatching their plan. I'm just like, where are all the apes? But yeah, it's easy for me to overlook minor plot grievances like that. So let's ask them 3 questions. Firstly, would I watch it again? Yep, when I inevitably do the Planet of the Apes marathon rewatch, I would not skip this one. So yes. Question 2, do I recommend it for you guys? It's a yes again. If you're a fan of the Apes franchise, then this is another fantastic installment. It's got a lot of thought-provoking subtext about humanity, as well as the clash between religion and science and technology and progress. And I'd also argue there's a little sweet nugget about chosen family. So yeah, this is a blockbuster that has a lot going for it. It has a point of view, it has something to say. It's action-packed, I found myself invested in the characters, and there was a lot more emotion than I initially thought there was going to be. So yeah, I recommend it. And third question, what score to give it out of 10? Thankfully, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is just as good in quality as the 3 previous films, and I'm actually very excited to see where they're taking the franchise now. Despite some pacing issues and some convenient plot details, I had a really good time watching this. So I'm gonna give Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes a 7.5 out of 10. But as always, guys, it is just one bloke's opinion. Love to hear your thoughts on this movie. Have you seen it? If you have, what do you make of it? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, help me out with a little thumbs up button. If you want more movie, TV, and Oscars related content, don't forget to click subscribe. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, the Oscars, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Harefield, and I'll see you next time.